here we go again, guys. This is the new OnePlus 3T, which looks exactly like the OnePlus 3. Absolutely, well, kind of different in terms of the colors, because this one is now called gunmetal. And there will be also a soft gold. This gunmetal one is the one that you can only get on the 128GB version. Well, I'm Sasha from Mobile Geese and finally taking a look at this latest beauty from China. You probably know that I'm a huge OnePlus fan, and I think they really steered up that market with the very first one, with the OnePlus One. That's already like back in 2014, I guess, yeah? This kind of started below $300 US and was just kind of really setting the pace for other smartphone manufacturers to kind of get down with the pricing and to kind of ramp up the quality and the build quality and the components that you're getting for it. And you know what, there's no difference here with the new OnePlus 3T. So let's talk about differences compared to the previous version. Well, first and foremost, it has the same display, 5.5-inch AMOLED display with a resolution of 1080p. That means you end up with a pixel density of around 401 ppi. You can also see that the bezels are very thin on the sides. It's only 0.75 millimeters. This one is based on the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 821, and that also means that, especially compared to the Google Pixel, you're getting the version that is clocked up to 2.35 gigahertz, while on the Pixel they kind of throttled it a little bit down to 2.15 gigahertz. The other difference compared to the previous generation is it's slightly thinner. Well, this is now 7.35 millimeters, and it used to be 7.4 millimeters. I can't tell you if there's any difference whatsoever, especially when it comes to the weight, because it's exactly the same, 158 grams. So I talked already about the Qualcomm Snapdragon 821, and it's getting supported by 6 gigabytes of RAM, and depending which version you choose, 64 or 128 gigabyte internal storage. We also need to talk about the battery, because this is, in my opinion, the biggest difference. So on the OnePlus 3 we had a 3000 mAh battery. This one has 13% more battery capacity, which ends up at 3400 mAh battery. You know, compared with the Snapdragon 821, this should just easily get you through the day. We also have a little bit of a difference on the camera side. So the front-facing camera, let's start with the front-facing camera. It seems like the front-facing camera is the new back. Don't quote me on this. So now they changed it from 8 megapixel to 16 megapixel. A 16 megapixel selfie cam, in my opinion, I'm not sure if I'm right, this makes it the highest resolution front-facing selfie cam that there is on the market. It also should have been approved, at least that's what OnePlus is stating, in terms of the low light capabilities. On the back, we still have a 16 megapixel camera with an optical image stabilizer, but with an updated electronic image stabilizer. So something that you also seen on the Google Pixel, which doesn't spot an optical image stabilizer whatsoever. So they've kind of worked on the software with this one. The camera is still good for shooting 4K at 30 frames a second, while if you want to shoot 120 frames a second, you need to switch over to 720p. It is still based on Android 6.0. Let me just quickly show you. Take a look here. There we go. So this is Oxygen OS 3.5.1, and this is the Android version 6.0.1, right? So I'm pretty sure that they are really working towards Android Nougat, Android 7, especially after they've made an announcement just 2 days ago about kind of updating the OnePlus 3. This year, the beta should be available by the end of November, while the global update is going out on an OTA by the end of this year. And even OnePlus 2 users will get their update to Android 7. Can't tell you anything about the OnePlus 1. Sorry, guys. So what shall we make out of this? This is basically a minor update. Yes, it looks still absolutely gorgeous, and I tell you one thing, I think this gunmetal version makes it one of the best looking smartphones that is out there. You can see it still has a headset jack. It still has USB Type-C. I mean, I think this is kind of important in these days, right? And here on the right side, we have this kind of action slider here. We have the volume control, and then the power button and the slot for your SIM card here on the right side. Well, there's nothing on the top. It looks good, it feels good in your hand, it's blazingly fast. And how fast it is, I think we should take a look at the benchmarks. So those were the benchmarks, and I told you already a little bit about that battery here. And once again, I think together with the Snapdragon 821, this is a device that will last for a pretty long time. So it takes me easily through the day. Plus, on top of it, it also comes, of course, with Dash Charge. Dash Charge is a little bit different if you compare this to Quick Charge, because I mean, you guys that are using a quick charge device, you know that as soon as you're putting more voltage onto the battery during the charging process, it gets hot. Dash Charge supposed to kind of cool down, or at least not make the overall handset so hot during the charging process. So you're getting this Dash Charge over here, which is, yeah, OnePlus' very own version of a quick charge. But you know what? We need to get back to the camera and take a look how this one is going to perform. Well, check it out.
In good lighting conditions, the OnePlus 3T takes great photos. I stayed in auto and auto HDR, and you can see that the clouds have a good amount of texture, but they don't look overly fake. The color saturation of this street art is incredibly accurate, and I think it has pretty good color representation as well. So now one of the camera improvements is the electronic image stabilization, which is actually a software update that could roll out to the OnePlus 3. What this means is if something is moving quickly, you have a better shot at capturing it. Low light camera performance is what separates the flagship devices from those in the mid-range. Everything about the OnePlus 3 is flagship except for the low light performance. Here taking photos of the 101, it looks okay. Even when I try to adjust the exposure, it still isn't great. So you can see that the photo is usable, but it's not exactly in league with some of the other handsets out there. Now let's take a look at the selfie camera. Beautification is always something that's interesting. We have a few different stages here, and I think it looks fairly natural. Now the tricky thing is, because OnePlus has put a 16 megapixel camera on the front and the back, you think that you're going to be getting the same camera quality on the front and the rear cameras, but because the rear facing camera has OIS and EIS, the front facing camera just isn't going to perform as well. You can see in this series of photos that I have a lot more skin detail and the depth of focus is a little more accurate. Now I thought it was because I was wearing a pink shirt that all the selfies seem to hue pink, but it seems like it's a general issue with the cam.
Not too shabby. So what can we make out of this? I mean, this phone is just a minor update compared to the OnePlus 3. So this might not be the handset that a OnePlus 3 owner might consider to buy for this Christmas. But as you know, during the last 2 years, OnePlus kind of pumped out additional phones after they've been launching their flagship phone. Well, there was nothing like a OnePlus X this year. So I guess this is more like of a hybrid of something of an Evo 2 version that they tried to get out right before the Christmas season to deliver a product that is just packed with the latest SoC technology that comes with a different color, that also gets up to 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and that has this new amazing front-facing camera. Plus, it has a bigger battery, and especially with this bigger battery, if you've considered to buy a OnePlus 3, you might want to shoot for the OnePlus 3T right now, because still, I think that this is one of the best smartphones that is available on the market. It has, with this Oxygen OS, a super clean Android that almost gives you a vanilla experience, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. The build quality is stunning. It is just stunning. And overall, this is a phone that I can only highly recommend. If you're on the market for a new Android phone, if you want to get something for this Christmas, please check out the new OnePlus 3T. This is something I would definitely recommend to you. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment down below. I'm still Sasha from Mobile Geeks. Let me know if you like this almost one-taker review of the OnePlus 3T, and just leave me a comment or subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.